Okay, so what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you my first game in the promotion series, I guess, for Platinum 1. I'm playing Amumu in this game because my AD got taken by Ezreal, which obviously doesn't make me that happy because I like to play AD, but I really like Amumu, so it's kind of a good trade-off for me, I guess. I think the game sound could be a little bit too loud, so I turn it down a touch. Basically, when I play Amumu, my games always tend to end really well, and I haven't actually had a game with Amumu where I've done badly, and it's kind of like you there for me, where I kind of learned to play Amumu when I started learning to jungle, and it just kind of feels really natural to me to play, and I understand how to play him and gank with him, I guess. I see a lot of Amumus that just do a lot of questionable things, but I'd like to think at least that my Amumu is very solid and doesn't really rely on hitting too many bandages, because obviously landing bandages on Amumu is like the biggest thing that makes a good Amumu to most people, but I don't think it is. I think it's kind of like how I play Lee Sin, where I try and avoid skill shots as much as possible, because why chance this chance that you're going to miss when you can just guarantee a hit, basically. So from what I remember this game, I thought I'd tell you now, I absolutely smashed this game, and it's a 25-minute game, and it's probably the best you'll ever see me play Amumu. I'll put it that way. I think I played this game really extremely well, but I'm still going to try and find faults in something I do, because that's how you improve in the game. Even if I did amazingly well this game, I'd probably still mess something up somewhere that I can improve on. So that's basically what this game's going to be. And also it should be pretty entertaining, because from what I remember this game, there's a lot of action and things go down. So yeah, starting out, I guess I should probably change these around really quickly. That looks almost good. Yeah, that would do. So we have Shen top. I don't really like ganking for Shen unless it's against someone like Irelia, because they don't have a dash. So if he gets taunted, he pretty much dies. Bottom lane we got Ezreal Lulu. That's not easy to gank for against Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is easy away and you don't really have hard CC. And ganking for Lux is super easy. So anyway, first blood comes out here. You'll notice I'm going to pause really quick. You'll notice how when I walk up to this guy, my instinct as a Mumu, most people would be, oh, let's bandage in here because I can hit a bandage. No, wrong. Really wrong. What you want to do is you want to walk up to him and you want to red buff him. Because if you get your red buff on him, it slows him enough that if he flashes, you can hit the easiest bandage of your life. And if you miss it, like, I don't know what's wrong with your mouse, because you cannot miss. I'll show you what happens here. I walk up to him, W, and all I want to do is melee him. I want to melee him. Red buff on him. There we go. There's a red buff. He flashes, he's slowed by red buff. Flash, bandage, red buff on him again, and then E for the kill. Or just hit him for the kill even, okay? So I get first blood. Hopefully you watched that and you thought, okay, that was really simple. He didn't make that complicated at all, because I really didn't overcomplicate it, and I think that's how you should play things like Amumu and Lee Sin. Because the minute you start trying to overcomplicate things is when things get bad. So I bought a Spirit Stone, really good item obviously, and I bought boots because my playstyle relies on me kind of having boots, because it allows me to roam quicker, and I try and get early boots mobility so I can abuse my run at them playstyle rather than bandage into them playstyle. Because I personally think that using bandage as more of a stun than an initiate, at least when you're ganking, is beneficial in comparison to using it as an initiate. Because oftentimes, like, you bandage into a gank and then they flash away and you're kind of left there, stood there, useless. But if you don't use your bandage to get in and you just walk at them instead, then you have the bandage for the flash. And then even if they have flash and you don't, it doesn't really matter because you get in and kill them. So Lee Sin, I'm not really sure what he's doing. He wastes a lot of time this game. He could probably not beat me 1v1 right now. I'm a lot stronger than him, I think. I'd imagine anyway. So bottom lane, 2 kills for enemy team. Not a good start. Don't really know what happened. Don't really care too much, to be honest. Because this is the thing when I jungle, I try and find one lane that I think is really good. And then if I find that lane, I try and help them enough the game. So I saw here, Lux got ganked by 2 people, flashed out really nicely, and then made a nice double bind. And seems like a decent enough player that I would like to help her snowball the game. So that was basically I think that was what I did this game. So I hit a nice bandage here actually. As much as I talk about not hitting nice bandages, that was pretty good. And then Lux hits a bind and gets a kill. So that was a pretty good bandage. Level 5, good start really to the game. The higher level you get as a jungler, the better, really. Lee Sin's only just dinged 4, and he hasn't got his red buff. Oh, because he started at red buff, probably. Okay. So after that gank, I realised that Lux is a decent player. Shen's a good player because he baited the gank top. And I don't really care for my bottom lane. As harsh as it sounds, like, usually basically, I go with the mentality that, like, if my bottom lane gives 2 kills early game, 2v2, without getting ganked, then it's probably not worth trying to help them. Because if they lose 2v2, they probably lose 2v2 even after you gank them. And, yeah. So Aurelia actually here made a key mistake. She has a ward, but she didn't actually place it even when she's pushed up this far. And Shen told me in chat here, there's no ward, he hasn't placed a ward. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's free. So I walked up and I killed him, from what I remember. We'll see, I guess, what happens. I probably won't bandage to get in on this because there's no reason to. So Aurelia goes for the Shen kill rather than going for the escape. And bandage in for the stun. And then we get the kill. Now you notice I actually took the kill there. That's kind of deliberate because I think I scale harder than a Shen scales. Because if I didn't think my mid lane was good, I would let my Shen take that kill. But because I think my mid lane is good, I think me getting stronger, because like if I'm strong and Lux is strong, we can basically 2v5 the enemy team. It doesn't really matter. Like if I make one good ultimate and he makes one good like laser into Lucent Singularity, the whole team just dies, and it doesn't really matter. We don't need anyone else. So that's why I took that kill. You've always got to think ahead. Like you've always got to think, do I want to be stronger or do I want my Shen to be? Okay, so I got a phone call in real life there, so I had to pause the game. We'll see what happens here before I talk about what I was talking about. Okay, we missed everything. I think I was talking about if I had Aurelia top lane instead of Shen, I would have given Aurelia that kill because I think Aurelia scales harder than Shen does in terms of like getting strong from kills. Shen is just useful all the time. He doesn't really need kills to be useful. So here I actually ganked bottom lane, ultimated Caitlyn. I'm surprised I'm level 6 actually. That's a quick level 6, and then I got a kill. Okay, that's good. So I kind of missed that a little bit, but I guess I thought that they had no summoners, which they didn't when I went, and they did. But they baited a fight and we got a kill, whatever, who cares. Again, something I want to talk about as a jungler. Quite often I would take the blue buff because I think I'm snowballing, but like I said before, I think this Lux is a decent enough player that I won't give it a blue. I will give it a blue. Yeah, I think she's a decent enough player to give it a blue buff. Basically, it's kind of pointless in my eyes to give the mid a blue buff when they're just going to give it to the enemy mid or the enemy jungle. But after seeing this Lux escape a gank and just play well in general, like she's playing well, she's got 57 creep kills, the most in the game. I can't really fault that. Then I decided to give it a blue buff. I mean, if it was like, I don't know. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. I said it pretty bad. But basically, this Lux is decent enough to carry the game by getting a blue buff over me, who I thought would carry the game. Even though I kind of end up carrying the game, but that's beside the point. So, I'm going to fast forward here because you don't really want to see me kill red buff, I guess. And I go for a kill on Aurelia because she's pushed up again. But I presume she recalls and gets out, yeah. So talk about my item choices. You notice I got boost mobility and a spirit stone. Now the reason I got mobility is it's because it just allows you to run around the map like an idiot. And that's how I like to play a Amumu, because if you gank while their flashes are down as a Amumu, it's basically a guaranteed kill every single time. Especially the red buff. Like people really don't value red buff on a Amumu because they play a different style to me. My style pretty much relies on having a red buff. It's kind of like Yuda. Like, if you gank without a red buff on Yuda, it's so hard to kill things. But when you have a red buff, it's so easy. That's how I play Amumu, because if you get the red buff, you can't miss a bandage, like I said before. And then, yeah. So here I came for bottom lane again, because I know they have no summoners, because I've already been here. Leona initiates, and I just walk up. You notice I'm walking up here. Miss a bandage, really quite bad play. So that's one mistake there, I missed a bandage for no reason. Then I flash ultimate, miss Caitlyn somehow. Get the kill onto Leona, exhaust comes down to Caitlyn. My bandage is probably just coming up. And then she gets the kill. She gets killed even. And Diana comes in here and just like, oh, I don't know what she's doing. This could be like from the last game, where they just casted and goes mental. She got a kill on Lulu, but you know, it wasn't really worth doing that for. I got a fresh blue buff. That's nice to have. And I'm 4-0-3, 10 minutes into the game. Now that's a good place to be at as a jungler. In any game, that's an amazing place to be at. So I finished my Spirit Ancient Golem because it gives a lot of health, it gives cooldown reduction, and it gives mana regen and health regen. And it gives tenacity, which is quite useful. But I mean, they don't really have that much to use tenacity against. They have a bit, but it's not a super amazing stat by any means. But against this team. Sorry, it's not really a super amazing stat, but it's pretty good. I can't really complain about it. The reason I completed this instead of getting like an Abyssal Scepter or like half an Abyssal Scepter or like I don't know what people build Rylai's or something. I just like this item in general. I think it gives every stat you want as a jungler early game, and it's just good. Like that's all I can really say. My recent ability kicking in here, obviously. I want to come kill Aurelia again because why not? Shen makes a really nice taunt. I'm walking at him like an idiot, and I noticed I won't get a red buff on him. I don't think. No, I actually managed to get red buff on him. I think. Missed my bandage and just, that was bad. So second mistake of the game, missed a bandage. It was not that hard to hit, I guess. But obviously, you're never gonna have 100% accuracy with skill shots. That's one thing to realize, I guess, and that's yeah. Run behind Dana here. She comes to me. I hit the bandage. Lux makes a nice bind here, from what I remember. No, man, she doesn't. I guess actually they were our creeps, so she couldn't really do that. So I guess that was third mistake really, because she had no way of actually doing anything unless she flashed, and even then she didn't have a lot of mana, so that was kind of a bit of wasted time because there was no way I was ever going to get a kill out of it. I guess I hold mid here. Yeah. Always hold mid if you can get the free experience as a jungler, because honestly it gives so much experience. Like, you catch up to the mid almost just from getting experience from taking, like, that's a whole crit wave I just got. That's a massive amount of experience that you get. That's something I see quite a lot of players not do when they jungle, is they don't take lane experience. Taking lane experience is how you carry games. Here I came behind for a gank because I knew it was 3v2, and I'm pretty strong, so I don't really care. Obviously I go for Caitlyn here, and I miss everything again, and I come back instead, ultimate Leona, and she flashes. What happens here? Dana comes in. I'm trying to tank Dana so she can't Q. Tanking here. Just tanking like an idiot. Trying to bait for Lux. Lux misses a barrier. I get a nice bandage onto Caitlyn. We miss everything between us. Laser kills, thankfully. And then like we're kind of in this awkward situation where I'm strong enough to just press W and kill them. Shen almost in. Not sure why. Lux makes a really nice flash bind actually, gets the kill. So you see what I'm saying about this Lux, like she's a very solid player really. You can't really fault anything she's doing, she's just playing a nice style of play. She tanks Dragon for me here, obviously that's good because I'm like almost dead. This is another thing to talk about I guess when you're jungling. I know there's no possible way that they can come and stop me doing this Dragon because Dana's too low HP, they had to recall, Aurelia was top lane, so that's a free Dragon. A lot of people would be tempted to recall because they only have 300 HP and 100 mana there, but really, like, there's no way I would not get that Dragon in my eyes. So getting a Dragon is very, 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 very important because it basically gives me 6 minutes of just running around the map doing whatever I want and not having to worry about, like, if I go top lane, maybe they try and 4-man Dragon and get a 4-man Dragon because I'm not there. That kind of gets rid of that like thought in my mind because that's one thing I don't like about jungling quite often. Is when you go top lane, enemy jungler and bottom lane and mid all like rush to dragon, you can never fight 3v4 really, and then they get a free dragon. And if you don't get a kill top lane, it puts you really far behind as a team, and you never want to be far behind as a team. That's obviously like basic thoughts. Another quick thing to notice is that even though I don't know how the Shen Aurelia matchup is, so it's hard for me to say. Actually, I'll talk about that in 1 second. We'll see what happens with this gank. Red buff is strong, obviously. Doing quite a bit of damage to this guy. Have to use ultimate because I didn't want Shen to die there. He might not have died if I didn't ultimate, but you never know. Never save your ultimate in case, like, it prevents attacks, basically, for 2 seconds. And that probably wouldn't have been enough to kill Shen here, but I didn't calculate the math properly, and I just didn't want to risk a death for like a kill. It's not really worth it. It's better I blow my ultimate there than to let Aurelia get a kill. Because going back to what I was talking about, even though I ganked pretty heavily for Shen early game, and I feel like I won his lane for him, kind of. Not like I didn't win it completely, but I put him ahead. That he should be beating Aurelia pretty hard. Now I don't know how the Aurelia Shen matchup works because I don't play top lane, but he's not winning his lane. basically. Aurelia's got more creep kills than him, even though he has 6 assists, which is really good, because he's been around the map. But still, Aurelia's still a force to be reckoned with, even though she got kind of destroyed early game. So that's something to just notice, really. So Diana tries to take my creep there. That's not very nice, and she doesn't actually manage it. And item choices again. I'm building an Aegis. I don't know how you want to say it, but that's how I'm going to say it. Aegis, because Runic Bulwark is really strong, and if you get that item early, it puts your team like so far ahead in team fights. It's actually crazy, just because of the stats it gives. So that's why I'm rushing basically. Try and bandage a red buff there, but obviously it's not going to be up. That's stupidity. And I go for a tower dive on Caitlyn. That's the easiest tower dive ever. See how I wait with my ultimate here, because I don't have it actually. Ooh, I don't have my ultimate. Shen ultimate's in. I'm taking so much damage. Now, you notice even though I'm like no HP, I still tried to bandage in, but it didn't really work. And then I'm recalling here because, yeah. So that was, I guess you could say, mistake number 4. I mean, I would probably classify that as mistake 3.5, because as much as it was a mistake, we got a kill out of it. Well, that was pretty bad, but we got a kill out of it. And Shen ultimated in and saved my life. If Shen didn't ultimate, I would have died. So it's a good job Shen was paying attention, really, because that was pretty questionable play, diving like that with no ultimate. So I tried to save the tower here, obviously not going to work. And then I tried to 1v1 Aurelia, which also is obviously not going to work because it's Aurelia and Amumu. So, mistake, I guess, but at the same time it didn't really cost me too much, so not really a mistake. And I'm just trying to hold the lane back here, because obviously when you play top lane, for those of you who watch my Yudo top lane game, you get ahead by pushing towers and just staying in the lane and causing pressure by pushing. I didn't want him to get to this tower for free and just be able to damage it, because as soon as you get damage onto this tower, like, you get ahead in the lane, basically. That's how I think about it anyway. As soon as you're up this far in the lane without being challenged, that's when you're scary. And I didn't want him to get scary. So Lux here completes a death cap and a haunting guys. She's obviously getting really strong. And that's what I wanted this game, like I said at the start. I wanted Lux to get strong. Because honestly, our bottom lane, Ezreal is 2-2-3 with a Bloodthirster and Ninja Tabai and 100 creep kills. Not amazing. And Lulu doesn't really have any items. Has like a Sightstone. But there's no Shredders here because they're not farmed. So Shredders is what I'd be looking for if I were to farm this bottom lane. But obviously it's not here, so... bottom lane isn't a factor to me at this point of the game. And I want to stop Caitlyn snowballing, because Caitlyn can destroy our team if she snowballs too hard. Even though she's 1 and 3, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But the thing is, when you have someone like Lux mid, who can roam bottom freely and get an easy ultimate off, it's easy to gank bottom for, basically, because you make it like a 4v2 or a 4v3, because his Lux is decent enough to move every time I try and come here. Even though they're trying something like crazy here. And we know they're here because we have this good ward in this bush. So we know there are 4 people here. Which is why I'm stood here, probably. I don't like when people do this, and I'm doing it here, but at least I have a reason to do it, basically. So Leona misses her initiate there, which is actually kind of sad. And I miss my bandage, which is also pretty sad. And then I'm just kind of walking around. So Aurelia goes in really deep here. I make a nice ultimate. And get trapped, and Leona ultimated. Good Lulu ultimate there comes down so she doesn't die. And I'm just kind of getting beaten up. Bandage on, get kill, that was good. Lux got ganked by Lux got ganked by Lee Sin trying to come down, which is always unfortunate. And Shen's pushing top, which is what you meant to do here. This is the right choice he's making. I get a nice bandage onto Caitlyn here. Barrier stops me getting the kill. But I get a tower, so kind of worked out, I guess. I think I could have made a lot more of that situation, probably. But I missed my first bandage, which put me quite far behind. Like, in terms of like skill cooldowns, I guess. So I really tried to go on Ezreal there, but I think Ezreal could have just killed him. But obviously he doesn't have the mana, really. I don't know, let's recap, it's 20 minutes into the game. 20 minutes into the game, 5-0-7 with a Runic Bulwark. Very strong item. Lux is getting nicely farmed, 160 creep kills, nice items. Still not very confident in my bottom lane, my Ezreal especially, because it's Ezreal, like, they don't do that much damage, but if he lands a good ultimate on top of my ultimate and Lux ultimate, basically game over. That's what I'm trying to plan for this. Obviously I'm giving Lux blue buff again, not much to talk about. I'll fast forward this because you don't really want to see me give him blue buff. Dragon's coming up, I put a pink ward down, kill the ward. Don't want to go for it yet because we don't really know where anyone is, and going for a 5v5 right now could be detrimental to our team. Because even though we're stronger in picking someone off and then doing things, which is what we try and do here. Bandage onto Aurelia, Lux ultimate comes down, somehow misses, I don't really know how that missed. My ultimate's not up, so I can't actually save Lux there. So I go for the kill. No I don't, okay. Shen ultimate comes down, good ultimate, but didn't really achieve a lot. My ultimate's just come up here. I ultimate Diana to get a kill. Shen taunt comes down, I bandage on the end of it probably. No, I don't have mana to bandage. And actually Diana ends up killing Lux there, which is really unfortunate. We kill Diana eventually, but it wasn't too worth it. Another mistake I just noticed is I skilled 2 levels of W instead of getting level 4 Q. I guess I just accidentally misskilled that. That's the only way I can think about like making that mistake. It's pretty stupid. Here this dragon, they have a ward, so I'm not sure it was the best choice to do because I didn't really have anything. But we have Shen, who's actually really strong now. So I guess it wasn't too bad. And they're all quite low. Lee Sin tries to come for the steal, I smite it, you're not going to steal from me. Get the bandage into the Hex, but he still jumps out, which is quite unfortunate. And Ezreal like ease in and tries to kill him. Really, really nice flash taunt by Shen. Ezreal ease out and gets the kill. That was actually really sick by that. That was some really, really sick play by that Shen. I didn't even realize he did that in the game when I was watching. That was really nice by Shen. So this Shen, I did shit talk him a little bit for losing his lane, kind of, earlier. But then when you look at it, you know, he's 3-1-9. He's actually doing a lot of work this game. And like I said, I don't know how the Aurelia Shen matchup goes, so I don't know who's actually meant to win it. If it's a good matchup for Aurelia, then fair enough. There's not a lot you can do early game. But he's making up for sort of losing his lane, even though he's definitely not anymore, because when you look at it, 319 to 140 and 130 creep goes to 150, there's no way he's losing anymore. So maybe early game Aurelia beats Shen, and then Shen gets items and he beats Aurelia. That's the only way I can think about it. Yeah, so this is basically where you have to end the game. We're 18-8, that's pretty strong, almost 8k gold ahead I would say, which is a really nice point to be at obviously. And there's not a lot more for me to do. I have my ultimate up in really, really, really soon. 3 seconds to my ultimate. I'm trying to make things happen, but you never want to go too far to make things happen, because yeah, that's how you throw games. And I don't want to throw this game. So Ezra gets jumped on here. We get a really nice bind, and then my ultimate comes down to 2 people. Barrier comes down so I don't die. Dana comes back, and probably lives, unless I hit my bandage. Oh, I just flash EM instead. That's fine as well. They baited Lee Sin over here and got a kill. Always good. And Shen's just pushing top like he should be. Absolutely perfect play by this Shen. Now here, a lot of people would say, maybe you should go Baron. Maybe we should. Looking back at this game, this could be like another mistake. This would be quite an easy Baron. It's either a Baron or a wasted inhibitor. And I presume we don't actually get an inhibitor here, but I'm not 100%. We could definitely have gone back and tried to take Baron here. Instead we got a turret and no kills. Ezreal's going a bit, really not sure what he's doing here. That was risky play. Still is risky play. Gets flashed on. Okay. Gets out. I get in with bandage. Get a kill. Before the teamfight starts, you'll notice something I do is I don't try and zone these 3 people. Quite a lot of people do this. I don't try and zone these 3 people because I feel like the most effective way to play as Amumu is simply to hit the first person like closest to you. I see a lot of Amumus who dive in and then just die because they're not actually as tanky as they think they are, and then they fall over and they haven't really achieved a lot. So I just hit Diana here because I have quite a bit of damage actually. So me hitting Diana, why not really? Bandage him on the tower. You notice I deactivate my W because I didn't have a lot of mana. Activate it again. Tower's hitting me. I'm scared. Lux almost dies to the tower. And then, yeah, this is risky play. Really risky play. Nice Shen armor comes down again. And then they surrendered the game. I don't agree with that surrender personally. Obviously the game was pretty, you know, 10k gold. Shen really, really massive. The Shen, I would give 100% credit to the Shen. He played that game really, really well. Like, the Shen caused a lot of questionable situations to turn out well for us. And he pushed his top lane and ended up getting 2 towers in comparison to 1. So he won his lane pretty well. Although he just made some really good plays in general. The Shen was really good. Even though I had some doubts about him at the start of the game. Looks turned out to be good, 7-2-3, can't fault that at all. And I don't know, like, even though I'm 6-0-10, which is obviously like a really, really good score, I don't feel like I did anything special at all this game. Like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever, but I don't feel like I played this game special, and I feel like anybody could have done it. It's just a really, really basic, like, walk up to people, red buff them, bandage them, stick on them with W. Like, it's not complex to do what I did this game. I don't feel like. I'd like if you discuss that in the comments actually, and just tell me what you think about it, because maybe I'm just being too harsh on myself, or maybe it's something else, I don't know. But I don't feel like I played this game very special, even though I ended up 6-0-10, which is obviously a really good score. Basically, that's how I'm going to end this game. And yeah, I don't think they should have surrendered, because this would have been quite a hard game to finish. Like, this Aurelia could have got possibly. Does she have a Q up? She has a Q up in 5 seconds, and she has Ignite. So Aurelia definitely would have killed Lulu here, I would presume anyway, because they have Leona here also. Could have definitely got a kill on Lulu, and maybe a kill on to Lux if he hits his Q. That's a dead Lux. Then he can Q back to me and ignite me and kill me. That would have been like 3 kills here, like 3 for Aurelia. Depends how much damage it takes from Shen. And then they could have done something like taking Baron against their team was quite hard to do. So I'm not sure they should have surrendered here. Personally, I wouldn't have surrendered this game, but some people like to surrender, so fair enough to them. Also, Lee Sin's item choices. Don't build a phage in Season 3. What are you thinking? That is very, very questionable, personally. Not sure why he built a phage at all, but I don't want to go over that too much. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and it was pretty weird for me to watch back, but, you know, I think it was a decent game overall, and I had to obviously put it in a series because it was my first game of my best of 3 series for Platinum 1, so yeah, thanks for watching this video, and hopefully